Another interesting angle of this Jaden Rashada lawsuit against Florida is how he waited until he transferred from Arizona State to Georgia, Florida's hated arch rival, to take legal action. And what's even more funny about this situation is that Kirby Smart was already alerted and notified by Jaden Rashada and his family that this lawsuit was going to take place. And Kirby Smart, he allowed it to happen. As a matter of fact, Kirby Smart gave his blessings to Jaden Rashada to go through with this lawsuit. And this is another great move by Kirby Smart. Why? Because anytime you have a chance to weaken your biggest rival, you have to take the opportunity. You see, not only does this move by Kirby Smart put more pressure on Billy Napier and Florida this season, but it also creates a huge distraction for the Gators football program because it makes them look bad in the eyes of recruits who are considering playing for Billy Napier, because they're probably thinking, damn, like, if they screwed over Jaden Rashada, what makes me think that they couldn't do the same to me? Which also makes it a lot easier for Kirby Smart and his staff to go into the state of Florida and steal these big-time blue-chip 5- and 4-star recruits. And that's why Georgia continues to dominate the SEC the way they do, because they always find ways to get the best players out of the best football-rich states in high school. Cali, Texas, Florida. Any big-time prospect that Georgia has their eyes on, they have no problem going into any big state to go get them. And all this move does for Kirby Smart, it makes it way more easier for him to continue to use Florida as a pipeline to fuel his national championship contender. Carson Beck, where is he from? Jacksonville, Florida. That's Florida's backyard. With this move, Kirby Smart makes it a lot difficult for Florida to continue to keep recruits in-house. And hell, in my opinion, what's even more unforgivable is the fact that Kirby Smart went in the transfer portal and got Trevor Etienne to transfer from Florida to come play for him. That was one of the biggest, most disgusting transfers that I've ever seen since this transfer portal era kicked off a while back. This guy was one of Florida's best players last year, and he goes to the transfer portal to go play for the opposition? Kirby right now is playing 3D chess with Billy Napier and Florida's football program. Even when he's not kicking their ass on the football field, he's kicking their ass off it. And this man is trying to crush Florida anytime he gets the opportunity to. And it just shows you why Kirby Smart is the coach that he is right now. The best in college football. You want to know why? Because this dude is ruthless. He's cold-blooded. I remember listening to a halftime speech a few years ago that he delivered halftime in the Florida-Georgia game. He said that he wanted to break them. He wanted to break them physically. Not only has he broken Florida physically the last couple of times they played, but he's kind of breaking them mentally. Because Billy Napier, this is not a good look for him and his program moving forward, regardless of how this thing plays out in court. If Florida settles and they have to pay Jaden Rashada a little something, it's not going to look good because you still look guilty. When you settle, you still are somewhat agreeing that, hey, we did a little bit of wrong, so we're just going to go ahead and just give you a little small something so we don't have to drag this thing out. But even if Florida comes out of this situation not having to pay anything, it still is going to be a bad look because recruits still are not going to get over this situation. And when Kirby Smart is talking to these Florida recruits that are thinking about playing for Florida, it makes it even more easier for him to flip them. He can say, bro, like, did you just see what they just did to our guy, Jaden Rashada? They offered this dude $13.85 million, and they lied to him. They deceived him. You want to be the next victim to that? And that's how you end up having guys flipping from Florida to go play for Georgia, people. This is why Kirby Smart is my favorite coach in college football. Some of you fans, even if you're not a Florida fan, may say that, you know, what Kirby Smart did was wrong, but how I see it is this is competition. You know, it doesn't matter if it's on the field or off the field. When you're recruiting, you're still playing somewhat of a game because you're trying to lure other recruits to your school, meanwhile demeaning the other programs that they're thinking about going to. That's part of college football. It's a game within a game on different levels, and Kirby Smart continues to crush Florida. I just love Kirby Smart after this situation a lot more. This is why he's my favorite head coach in college football, man, because he's all competition. He's not lighting up on Florida. And Billy Napier, man, as much as I love Sunbelt Billy, bro, it's going to be really tough to see him surviving what he has coming up this season, bro, because their schedule is tough. And you can say, man, this is going to give Florida a lot of motivation when they play Georgia this year. It definitely is, but you already know that Georgia already is going to be amped up when they play Florida this year. So my question is, how amped up is Billy Napier going to have the Gators when they play the Bulldogs this year? Because Billy Napier, he's a nice guy, but he doesn't strike me as a raw guy that's going to have you pissed off, ready to go put somebody's helmet in the dirt like Kirby Smart is. So Kirby Smart, I just love this move by him, giving Jaden Rashada and his family the blessing to proceed with this lawsuit. I felt that this was another 3D chess game by Kirby, because he easily could have said, nah, bro, like, don't do it. He could have took the nice guy route, but Kirby Smart saw it as an opportunity to say, man, if they file this lawsuit, think about how negatively this can impact Florida's program, and think about how easier this can make it for us to go into Florida's backyard and take potential recruits for them, man. Like, if y'all can't see it this way, I don't know what to tell y'all, but I love this move by Kirby Smart. This dude is the ultimate competitor, dog. I love Kirby Smart. As a Miami Hurricane fan, like, I would do anything that it takes to make Kirby Smart our head coach, because if we had Kirby Smart over Mario Cristobal, Mark Rick, and whatever we've had as our head coach the last couple of years, we probably would have had like 4 or 5 national championships over the past decade if we had this dude as our head coach. I love Kirby Smart. And even as a Florida fan, like, if you really think about it from this angle, I don't see how you just can't have just a tad bit of respect for what Kirby Smart just did, because this was a fantastic move on his behalf, bro. He just made life so much more difficult for y'all and way more easier for him. I love this move by Kirby Smart. Absolutely love it, bro. This is why he's my favorite coach in college football. He's never taken his foot off the gas pedal, man. When he has an opportunity to burn y'all, he takes it. This dude really hates y'all, bro. Do y'all not see this? Like, Kirby Smart hates Florida with every ounce of blood in his body. This is what college football is about. This is what makes these rivalries so great. And the Florida-Georgia rivalry has lost a lot of luster over the past decade, because it's like when Florida was good, Georgia was kind of eh. And even when they reached their peak under Mark Rick, you know, Florida wasn't even as good as what Georgia was when Georgia was at their peak under the Rick era. So it's just now, thinking about what this rivalry used to be and what it is now, I think this is a situation that we should get a way more competitive game this season than what we've gotten out of this series in years past, because now Florida has a lot of reasons to be amped up when they play Georgia. You see, when you play Georgia, you already know that they're going to come out like a bat out of hell. They're going to be motivated. They're going to be angry. They're going to come out and play aggressive. And that's what Florida needs to be if they want to take down the beast that Georgia has become now. Georgia is the hunted. Meanwhile, you know, you look at Florida, and Georgia views them as prey. Florida's trying to hunt Georgia down. Meanwhile, Georgia, they're just feasting on Florida. Hell, I don't even know if Kirby Smart and Georgia even view Florida as a true rival for real. Like, technically they are rivals, but they probably view Alabama as a bigger rival than what they do Florida, because Alabama poses a way bigger threat to Georgia's national championship dominance than what Florida does, because Florida can never get it right with their head coaching hires. And situations like this Jaden Rashada lawsuit, I think it's the prime reason why Florida continues to be in the situation that they're in, continue to further be pushed back in the SEC hierarchy behind Georgia. So this was a great move by Kirby Smart, man.